Hey y'all, thanks for checking out another video. I appreciate your time and I appreciate the support. Today I want to talk about the vibrating jig. It is a bait that plays a factor in almost every tournament. You hear it over and over again. You see it on all the websites. Somebody catches them on a vibrating jig somewhere, somehow. And I have had some success with that bait in several tournaments, and then just fun fishing. I've caught a lot of fish with the vibrating jig. And I want to kind of go over in this video the different types of vibrating jigs, where they started and where they have come to. And there's several options, and your price point can be from $5 to $20. It's getting pretty crazy. But I want to hopefully explain to you the difference in the cheap one versus the more expensive one. So it all started with the Z-Man chatterbait. That was the number one. Whenever the vibrating jigs come about, this was the bait to have. And this is still a really good bait for a beginner. And for the price point, you can pick them up at Walmart and it still catches fish. What you're going to run into with the original chatterbait is the blades are going to oxidize or rust. The snaps are going to do the same thing very quickly, and your hooks aren't going to last as long as, you know, the higher end ones. So then we go from that to Strike King come out with the Pure Poison. Now this bait right here actually won me a BFL, so I can't say enough about this bait. I had a lot of confidence in it, and I still do. But we've just, as things go on, you get bigger and better. The number one thing that the issue with this bait is whenever it hits the water, you kind of got to pop the rod before the blade will start vibrating. And if you don't watch it, you'll reel it halfway in and the blade has never vibrated once. That's my main complaint on these. But other than that, you're going to get a better hook out of it. It's still not at the high end, and the blade is still going to oxidize over time if you do not take care of it. I preach over and over again, you know, take care of your lures, because it's a lot of money that can go to waste quickly, especially a bait like this. So from the original chatterbait and Strike King Pure Poison, Z-Man come out with, and they teamed up with Evergreen to come out with the jackhammer. Everybody has heard about these just about if you fish any at all. This bait right here changed the tournament scene, the fishing scene, and just the everyday fisherman, because they come out with a bait that's $16 to $20, and it's just like, you know, is it worth it? And I will say that it is worth every penny, because it lasts. It lasts for a long time, and you can leave the trailer on these things in the box for, I've got some that are 2 years old with the trailer on it with salt, and the hooks just don't rust. The hook is very high end. The blades don't oxidize. Your snaps don't oxidize. And this bait is as good as new 2 years later. And now, if you hang up and break it off, I can't help you, because that's just, it does hurt. $20 down the drain. It's happened to me several times. But this bait right here has action like no other, and I am very pleased with this bait. But going off of that, Strike King stepped up their game, and they brought out the Thunder Cricket. The Thunder Cricket comes in at a lower price point than the jackhammer, and to me, this bait is equally as good as the jackhammer. The action is probably 90% of what the jackhammer is. You don't have that hard thump, but it still has the thump. More of a thump than the Pure Poison, the original chatterbait, and it starts immediately the time you turn the reel over. So this bait right here, same thing. The hook, very good hook, does not rust. I had them in a box last year, all year long with trailers on them. The blades do not oxidize, and your snap is quality. The only thing that I have to say on this is it's got a rubber band for the skirt versus the jackhammer has a wire band, which is going to last forever. The rubber band might wear out. It hasn't on mine, but I will say that is something to watch for. But for the lower price point, I highly recommend the Thunder Cricket. The next one, and the most recent, is the Jackhammer Stealth Blade. So the Stealth Blade is just like the original jackhammer, but it's got a plastic bill on it that is clear. The number one thing and advantage I see of using this bait is when you want to throw a swim jig. And the reason I say that is because the swim jig is a chatterbait without the blade, hence the name bladed jig. And the swim jig is a very, very powerful bait in clear water and dirty water, but clear water mostly is where I see the advantage over the original jackhammer. And that is because the swim bait, or the swim jig, you've got to work it so fast and to get the action out of the skirt, make the skirt pulse and get that action to get that fish to react. And the jackhammer is gonna do all of the work for you. It's gonna be vibrating, jumping all around, and it's not gonna have the flash. This is the key part. It's not gonna have the flash of the jackhammer in, you know, the gold blade or a silver blade that could be too much in clear water on a sunny day. And so I think that if you start seeing fish shy away or you're not getting bites, if you try this and you catch them on a swim jig or something, you try this, I think you're gonna see the same results, if not better, because the action on these baits really are top notch. I mean, the fish cannot resist it. So leaving this video, I wanna kind of break this up into a two-part. Next week, I wanna talk about, or the next video, I wanna talk about the trailers that I use. And, you know, to go on top of the trailers, I'm gonna talk about the rod, the line size, and the action that I use for these baits, because the action is the #1 reason you catch fish on this bait. The bait does a lot of work itself, but putting the action in the rod and doing the things that I have learned over the years is gonna for sure help you get more bites. And so I wanna leave that for a separate video. And so I'll be ready to see you guys again next time. I appreciate it, and we'll see y'all.